base is tight. Dust kicks up in the morning light. Hear your name from the old homestand. Black eye paint and a lucky band. Dad's old cap on your messy hair. Bubblegum sweat, summer air. Heart beats fast on the chalk white line. You point your bat at the right field sign. Oh, we're walking on sunshine, baseball time. Sky so blue and the world feels fine. Crack up the bat and you're stealing my mind. We're walking on sunshine, baseball time. Round and around till the bases shine. This little diamond is our daylight shrine. Hey! Scoreboard glare in the late day heat. High pop fly dust on your cleats. I'm in the bleachers with the phone cup drink, trying not to stare every time you blink. Coach yells loud, but you just grin. Tap that plate, let the game begin. You swing once and the crowd goes wild. I jump up screaming like a little child. Oh yeah, we're walking on sunshine, baseball time. Sky so blue and the world feels fine. Crack of the bat and you're stealing my mind. We're walking on sunshine, baseball time. Round and around till the bases shine. This little diamond is our daylight shrine. When the lights click on and the day runs out, we still trace place, talking routes and doubts. You say one more pitch in the parking lot glow. I say all year long, let's never let it go. We're walking on sunshine, baseball time. Sky so blue and the world feels fine. Crack up the bat and you're stealing my mind. We're walking on sunshine, baseball time. Round and around till the bases shine. This little diamond is a daylight shrine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, guys? Woo! Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Today is a Friday, baby. Let's go ahead and get into our intro, folks, while I get set up. I'll see you guys in a minute.
Well, the two idiots think their opinions are still the fucking bomb. We got a Phillies Karen and Yankees ran to after the show. Oh yeah, we are here to still make your day. But seriously, fuck these guys and all they take. Hotshot, take it away. Season 2 is underway.
here to make your day, baby. Bring it in, folks. Bring it in. We are here today. It is a Friday. We are here August 28th, 2026. We're barely towards the end of the season. One more month after this week of baseball until we're to the playoffs. It's going to be a tight race here. Today's topics, as you can see, standings check, review this week, previewing the Boston Yankees series. Brewers look like the best team in baseball right now, and the preview, the schedule, the remaining schedule, not Boston and Yankees. Monday's episode 19 will be Yankees specific, as this next month will have 2 episodes, try to do 2 episodes each week. One episode be about MLB itself, and the other episode being specifically Yankees related. I have a lot to talk about Yankees. Judge, Brian Cashman, George Lombard Jr.'s defensive failures right now, which I don't think will continue. I think as he plays more, it's a jitter. It's just him getting used to the MLB. I think he'll be fine. But right now, it's not looking good. Right now, he just hasn't been playing better. And he's starting to struggle, too, at the bat. So, we'll see. But like I said, you also got Stanton news that he's done for the year. Fernando Cruz is done for the year. So, we'll talk about all that on Monday for episode 19. That will specifically be Yankees related outside of the Yankees Boston preview series coming up here. But let's go ahead and kick it right off here. Let's get to those standings, baby. Let's start with the American League East. Nothing has changed except for Toronto being in last place. I think last time Baltimore was in last place. Tampa Bay is 79-54, sitting comfortably 4 games up on the New York Yankees. They won their last game. They're not playing well, though. They're playing like barely over 500. 5-5 in their last 10. They have 47 run differential. They're the third best in the division, 4th best in the league, the American League. They started a series with San Diego. So right now, there was a poll the other day that talked about who has the strength of schedule left. The Rays have the worst, meaning they have to face the best teams coming up. So it's going to be tough. The Yankees have some very bad teams they're going to be playing down the stretch. So this is their chance to really jump. Right now, this series with Boston is going to determine who gets second place. Or potentially the division. Boston can still win the division. Yankees are 75-58. They're 4 games back, 7.5 games up on the wild card, number 1 spot. They're 2 games up on the wild card at number 2. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They lost their last one against Houston. So Houston, this is the first series. I think they've only lost 2 series since the All-Star, 3 series since the All-Star break, and they tied 1. So the Yankees have been playing some good baseball. They start the series, a 4-game series. It originally was supposed to be a 3-game series, but because the 1 game got rained out, the Yankees tomorrow will be playing a doubleheader. So it's a 4-game series this weekend, and it'll be crucial. If the Yankees sweep the Boston Red Sox this weekend, it'll be huge. But if they take 3 out of 4, it'll be huge because they will gain ground on Boston, and hopefully San Diego can do their job and get them closer to the Rays. The Boston Red Sox are 73-60, only 2 games back of the Yankees. They're breathing down their neck. 6.5 back in the first place and 5.5 up on the wild card. They're also 7-3 in their last 10. They just lost to the Marlins last night. They lead the league in the run differential in the American League right now. They start the series with the Yankees. Then you have the Baltimore Orioles, who took 2 out of 3 against St. Louis, still hanging in. They're 3 games back in the wild card. They have a tough schedule coming up, but I know they're playing the Athletics. If they can sweep the Athletics here, they'll be in good shape. And then Toronto here sitting at last place, 65-7, 15 games back. I think they're 5 games back of a wild card, 3.5. So very much wide open for both teams at the bottom of the division to make the playoffs. AL Central, Chicago starting to slowly creep and take away the division here. They're 70-63. They're 5-5 in their last 10 though, so they're starting to come down a little bit. They won their last 2 though. Look out for Cleveland. Cleveland 68-66, 2.5 games back of first. They're sitting in the last wildcard spot. They're 8-2 and they won 7 in a row. Cleveland's looking to get back in that division. Minnesota 64-70, looking like they should have sold 6.5 games back. They're 4 games back. Oh, I should have just read it here. 4 games back of a wild card. They're 4-6 in their last 2, and they lost their last 2 games. Detroit Tigers, who looked amazing last week, are now slowly starting to fall back again. 62-71. They were like 2.5 games back last time we checked. Now they're 8 games back. And they got swept by Chicago, I believe. That really hurt them. They were 2-8 in their last 10. They lost their last game, but they still have the 3rd best run differential in the league. Kansas City Royals are there, 16-75. Let's finish it off here. American League. In the American League West, the Houston Astros barely holding on in that division. That division's just garbage. Whoever wins this division is losing to the bottom seed. I will not be shocked if the team that makes the playoffs in the last wild card upsets whoever wins the American League West. The Astros are 66-66. They're at 500, 4-6 in their last 10. They did win their series against the Yankees. They started a series with the New York Mets. The Texas Rangers are 66-68. They're a game back of the Houston Astros. Seattle Mariners are 64-70, 3 games back. Athletics are 53-81, 14 games back. They're pretty much eliminated. The Angels are pretty much eliminated too. They're there. They're just there. 52-82. Let's go to the National League, which is a lot better than the American League. All 3 teams. I mean, there's 4 teams in the National League that would make the playoffs over both division winners outside the American League East. The American League is the only team with 3 teams in the division that have a better record than 2 teams. 2 teams fighting for playoff positions in the National League, which is pretty sad. It's the Rays, the Yankees, and the Red Sox. Those are the 3 teams. Outside of that, like, if the White Sox were in the National League, they would miss the playoffs. So right here, the same thing goes for any team in the West, the American League West. The National League, the Braves coming off a sweep of the Dodgers. Okay. The Braves swept the Dodgers 79-55 here. They're sitting comfortably in the 2nd spot of the National League overall. They're 5 games up on Philly. Philly 74-60. Braves started a series with the Colorado Rockies, 68-66. The Marlins kind of fell off this past week, but here's the scary part: 4 of the 5 teams in that division have a plus in run differential. The Nationals, 63-73, who were hot at the end of July, are now just cold. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They've pretty much fell out of the contention for the playoffs. The New York Mets, 60-74 here. They sit 19 games away, and they're just here. The Mets are just here. All that money they spent, they're playing like ass. The Milwaukee Brewers, who are the thumbnail of today's episode, and they will be the topic of later in today's episode. They are the best team in baseball. 83-51. 7-3 in their last 10. They have the best run differential, the best pitching, and their hitting starting to hit too. They also have a very even number of home and away records. The Chicago White Sox sit behind them 76-58, 7.5 games back. They're 4 games up on the wild card. I think they hold the second wild card, or the first wild card, and the Phillies hold the second wild card, where the Padres hold the third. The Cardinals, 67-68. They're creeping up. They're only 5.5 games back of a wild card. I don't think they're going to win the division, but they're creeping up on them. The Pittsburgh Pirates, somehow their offense has them with over 24 run differential, are sitting 65-70. They're pretty much done for the year, though. And then the Reds, 63-71 here, with one of the second worst run differential in all of baseball, behind the Athletics and the Rockies. But yeah, that is that. And then finally, the National League West, the LA Dodgers sit comfortably in first, 8 games up on the Padres. They're 6-4 in their last 10. They got swept by the Braves, but they started a series with the Detroit Tigers. They have the second best run differential in all of baseball, which is not a shocker. The third would be the Cubs, the fourth, the Braves, the fifth, the Red Sox, the sixth, the Yankees. So the top 6, that's your run differential. The Padres sitting 72-62, 8 games back. They sit in the last wildcard spot. They're 6-4 in their last 10. They won their last game. They started a series with the Tampa Bay Rays. If they can get some wins here, they can pile up some wins. They can stack as the Diamondbacks are breathing down on their necks. If the Marlins get hot, as will the Marlins be. Those are probably their two biggest threats on that last wild card spot. Speaking of the Diamondbacks are 71-64, and they're 9.5 games back of first, but they're only a game and a half back of the wild card. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They start a series with the San Francisco Giants. The Giants are 55-79. They're pretty much done. And finally, the Colorado Rockies, who I think have the worst, tied for the worst record in all of baseball, have the worst run differential, second worst run differential in all of baseball. No, the worst, second, yeah, behind the Athletics, second worst of all, the worst in the National League. So that is your standings check. When we get back for episode 20, we will look back at the standings again. I think we'll do two more times. I think episode 20 and episode 22 will be the standings check, because by the time we get to episode 22, I think we'll be at the end of the season. So let's go ahead and look into the review of this week. So we're like, usually the review of this week, we usually only look at one game, and we're going to go ahead and look at that yesterday's game. The Nationals and Rockies finished up their 4-game set. They split between the two. Rockies won 7-1 here. Orioles couldn't sweep the Cardinals. Cardinals should have won both games. Honestly, the Orioles blew it. Yeah, Wednesday night they were up 7-0, and the Cardinals came back and tied it, and the Orioles scored a run in the ninth and won it 8-7. Astros won 5-1 here. Cole's winning streak comes to an end, even though Cole still pitched to beauty. The offense once again failed him. The Royals beat up on the Blue Jays. The Brewers beat the Mets, winning the series there. The Braves would sweep one walk-off, lead-off home run, and that's all Sale needed. He dominated in this game. Yamamoto pitched really well, too. But the Braves would go on to sweep the Dodgers here. Gaining ground, if they can continue to win and the Dodgers lose, the Braves could find themselves in second. Right now, the Dodgers hold second in I know I said I think the Braves, but I realize the Dodgers have one better record. They're up one game on the Braves, but the Braves now have the season series. They only have to finish tied with the Dodgers, and they'll win the second seed over the Dodgers and get the bye. The Diamondbacks lost to the Giants here. The Diamondbacks, I hope they're not cooling off. I really don't hope they're cool. I really hope they're not cooling off. I really want them to get hot and get into the playoffs. They're such a crazy and amazing team. So that is the review. And you know what? We'll review Wednesday while we're at it. So Rays beat the Tigers 3-0 here on Wednesday, August 26th. Diamondbacks would beat the Cubs 2-0. Reds would come back and beat the Giants, scoring 7 runs in the top of the ninth to win it. And they would close it, shutting them out in the bottom of the ninth to win 10-9. I think they were 2-1. Yeah. 1-0, 2-1, 2-2, 4-2, 6-2, 6-3, 9-3. Yeah, down 9-3. They came back and scored 7 unanswered and won the game. That's crazy. Guardians would beat the Angels here. Like I said, the Guardians are getting hot at the right time. Padres beat the Pirates. Phillies shut out the Mariners. Marlins shut out the Red Sox. Rockies destroyed the Nationals. Hunter Goodman's looking crazy good right now. The Rockies are glad they didn't trade him. The Yankees are kicking themselves that they didn't, but I'll talk about why they didn't come Monday. Yankees beat up on the Astros 9-3. Yankees really should have won 2 out of 3 in this series. The fact that they blew it Tuesday night was ridiculous. The Blue Jays would shut out the Royals. The Brewers would win 8-1 against the Mets. The Braves would walk it off against the Dodgers. The White Sox would beat up on the Rangers, and here we go. This is what I'm talking about. 7-1. It was 7-1, and the Orioles came back. It was 7-0, and 7 unanswered runs, and then finally the Orioles got the last run to 8-7 to win, and then finally the Athletics would beat the Twins. So that is the review of this week. Let's go ahead and do today's game. We have already 1-0 Chicago, so let's go ahead and preview the schedule here. Chicago Cubs are up 1-0 on the Reds. Skubal's pitching against the Tigers. Skubal's first game back in Detroit is here tonight against the Tigers. He's going against Anderson. Yet the Marlins and Nationals starting a series. I'm going to that game tomorrow. So we'll go ahead and see how that is. Perez is pitching against Kent. You have the Royals, Guardians, Waka, and Shane Beebe. Is it Shane Beebe? No, Tyler Beebe, I think it is. I think it's Tyler Beebe, is it? Tanner Beebe. Tanner Beebe, and we'll see if the Guardians continue their win streak. Astros start a series with the Mets, so they finish up their New York trip. Hunter Brown, thank God we didn't have to face him in the series, even though we lost 2 out of 3. I think he would have shut us out. Against Scott, you have the Padres and the Rays. Casey Mize will play against Shan McElwain. McCollahan, you have Dylan Cease versus TBD for the Mariners. You have the Rockies and the Braves. Sorango, who I didn't even realize he went to Colorado. He played for the Mets, right? No, he played for Baltimore. I didn't even realize he went to Colorado. Against Holmes, or Garrett Holmes. And then you have tonight. Oh, Cam Schlittler is pitching tonight. Okay, this should be a good one. Sandoval versus Cam Schlittler. Cam Schlittler pitched very well in his last game. Or the game before that. No, where the Yankees won 3-1. Yeah, Cam Schlittler played very well in that game. He gave up 6 hits, but he still found a way to go to the 5th, 6th inning. You have the Rangers and Brewers. He also pitches well against Boston. His last outing against Boston was not good, but he's pitched very well against Boston in his career. Rangers, Brewers, Bradford versus Henderson. White Sox, Twins. Castillo versus Kramer. Pirates, Cardinals. Jones versus Matthews. Phillies, Angels. Painter versus Detmers. Orioles, Athletics. Young, who's pitched really well for the Orioles against Lopez. And then finally rounding it out tonight, D-backs and Giants. Drake versus Tidwell. Let's go ahead and preview Saturday's games. So you have the Dodgers and Tigers, Snell versus Montero, White Sox and Twins, Fetty versus Ober, Pirates TBD versus Leahy, Abbott versus Gosman between the Reds and the Cubs. I forgot Gosman got traded to the Cubs. Mariners, Soriano, who pitched really well for even though the Yankees would end up winning that game. The Mariners versus the Mariners, TBD versus Soriano, Marlins versus Nationals, the game I'm going to. Alcantara versus Cavalli. Cavalli has pitched really well for the Nationals. Royals and Guardians. Lynch the fourth versus Griffin. Astros TBD versus McLean of the Mets. Padres, Rays, Bueller. I forgot Walker Bueller was on the Padres against Martinez. Rockies, Braves. You got Feltner versus Perez. Brewers, Rangers. You got Quintrell versus Duran. Droran. Let me rephrase that. Droran, not Duran. Droran. You got Orioles Athletics. You got Shane Baz versus TBD. You got Phillies Angels. Sanchez versus Johnson. TBD for the Diamondbacks and Giants. TBD for the Giants and Diamondbacks. Then the back-to-back game, you got Bennett, which I'm assuming Fried will pitch that game, and then Warren will pitch the second game at 7:15 on Fox. Someone from British Columbia is trying to get a hold of me. I'm not Canadian. So that is that matchup, and then finally Sunday, we'll finish it off on Sunday. Nationals, Marlins, you got Alvarez versus TBD. Rockies, Braves, Adams versus Molly. Yankees, Warren's pitching on Sunday, so do they go bullpen game on Saturday's night? Or do they do Fried Saturday night and then bullpen game at 105? They could. But anyways, Warren versus Suarez. Scherzer will be pitching TBD. Royals are Guardians. Lugo versus Messick. Glasnow versus Valdez. Rasmussen versus Ray. Matthews versus TBD. Rocker versus TBD. Ashcraft versus Liberatore. Thornton versus TBD. Bassett versus TBD. Wheeler versus Kikuchi. And then Burns versus Imanaga. Those are your previews. As let's go ahead and get into the next segment here, the Yankees series preview. So like I said, today they play. It's going to be Schlittler versus Sandoval. Then you got TBD, which I think Fried's supposed to be coming back this weekend, so I think Fried's pitching on the Saturday night, and they will go. Is Clark Schmidt ready? Was Clark Schmidt ready? No, he's pitching on Saturday. So he's going to pitch a rehab Saturday. So I think Ryan Yarbrough will start the game. Either way, this is going to be a big series for the Yankees because it's the last series with the Boston Red Sox. The Yankees swept Boston for the 4 games. Last time there was a 4-game set. They won one, lost one with the Red Sox, and they got swept in Boston. So, which started Boston's not little, but big, long winning streak that got them back into where they're supposed to be. I think the Yankees can very well win 3 out of 4 against Boston here. I think Cam Schlittler, if the Yankees offense produces, Cam Schlittler wins. I think with Fried being back, I think Fried will pitch very well in the game that he pitches in this series. Rendon might pitch. Rendon could very well pitch. I think Rendon Fried they'll switch. I think Rendon and Fried will pitch in the doubleheader tomorrow. And then Will Warren does clutch things. Will Warren does clutch things, man. He is the clutch master, I guess, according to one of NYYU's subscribers. He does clutch things. He's better than Ryan Ruthers, even though Ryan Ruthers has better numbers. So let's go ahead and hold on. Sorry, we got cat fights going on here in the background. All right, so let's go ahead and round up this. Hold on. Great. All right, anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the Milwaukee Brewers here before we end the episode. So the Milwaukee Brewers looking good as all hell. Their stats right here. Let's go ahead and look at their stats. Team stats here. All right. So the Milwaukee Brewers here. So pitching wise, second best in all of baseball right now. See, I told people the Tampa Bay Rays don't have good pitching. Second best hitting wise, they're actually not good. I thought they were good. They're the worst. Wow. When it comes to hitting, well, home runs. When it comes to hitting home runs, they're one of the worst. When it comes to batting average, they're up there. They're up there pretty good. They're I think they're like top top 15. But when it comes to hitting and on base percentage is pretty good. Is pretty good. It's just and then the average or the batting average. Oh no, never mind. That was slugging percentage. On base percentage, OPS is pretty good. The batting average is what is a. But I mean, who has the better batting average? So you got the Dodgers have a better batting average, and the Tampa Bay Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays have the best batting average in all of baseball. But that's only two other teams in front of them. That's only two other teams in front of them, and they're still pretty good. It just this is home runs. This is oh no, Atlanta Braves have a better. So that's no, I think that's I counted them. The Dodgers, yeah, the Dodgers and the Rays are the only two teams better with them with a better batting average. The Milwaukee Brewers are in last when it comes to home runs, so they beat you without home runs. So that's all that matters, in my opinion. Like, I don't care about the home runs. I don't think when it comes to playoffs, baseball, the better team that beats you is the teams that don't hit home runs, the teams that rely on small ball. So I think overall, their pitching is so good though. I mean, look, the second best pitching. Like, look at this. The whip is up there. The average is good. They give up the least amount of home runs. Second least amount of home runs. Red Sox. Actually, no. The Braves give up the least amount of home runs. No. The Baltimore Orioles. That's surprising. Oh, no, it was a hit pitch. Home runs. Home runs. Yeah, I think the Boston Red Sox give up the least amount of home runs. Which the Boston Red Sox have some good. Oh, the San Francisco Giants. The Boston Red Sox have some good pitching. But anyways, yes, the Braves. Their schedule, the remaining schedule. Let's look at it here. So they got Texas series coming up. Then they have a big series with the Cubs, which could very well factor in who wins that division. They have a 4 game. Looks like they have the 4 game set against the Cubs. Yeah, 4 game set against the Cubs. Then they got a 3 game set against the Reds, 3 game set against the Cubs. They got a 3 game set against the Reds. 3 games set against the Pirates, 3 games set against the 3 games in Baltimore, which I'm working all 3 of those games. 3 games set in Philadelphia, and then they finished the season in St. Louis. So right now, if the season ended right now, the Milwaukee Brewers would be the best team in baseball. So, anyways, that is all the time we have for today's episode. So I'm going to go ahead and call this a good day for you guys. So let me go ahead and pull up the intro, and I will see you guys Monday for the Yankees. Well, I'll see you guys potentially on Monday for the Yankees, and then Tuesday I'm probably going to do NFC South Showdown episode 4, and then Wednesday obviously caps off the chain episode 2. So see you guys later. Bye. See you guys later. Bye. Showdown episode